Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, cameras to monitor fishing practices. Principal says students must learn not to choose violence. A National Climate Week launched.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Electronic monitoring systems will be installed in 50 vessels of the National Longline Fleet to enhance surveillance and control of fishing operations. A memorandum of understanding was signed today between the Ministry of Fisheries and the Fiji Fishing Industry Association. It's intended to support the sustainable management of fisheries and reduce illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. Anna Ravulo reports.
Onboard camera hardware and software have also been included in these vessels to allow data reviewing that is being provided to the Department of Fisheries.
The EMS, which is a new technology that can provide additional tools to improve the compliance of fishing fleets with national and regional regulations, and Fiji is taking the lead in the Western and Central Pacific with the support of the Common Oceans ABNJ project.
The FFIA president says the collaboration between the ministry and the industry will go a long way in reducing illegal fishing.
This project has greatly enabled the captains to have a far better viewing of both the hauling and shooting process. For such viewing, it will allow us to develop better post-harvest strategies in managing the catch so that we can contribute to attain optimal value.
28 vessels already have the EMS installed in them, while the other 22 vessels will have the installation soon. The 3-year project cost more than $400,000 and is expected to end in 2019. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
Fiji Principals Association President Miriama Naivenguvengu says students must learn to make the right decision when it comes to violence. Her comments follow after an 18-year-old student charged with assault for his alleged involvement in a brawl with students from other schools. Naivenguvengu says proactive measures need to be implemented and students must be made aware of the consequences of violent acts. Savarat Thambor reports.
The Fiji Principals Association has raised concerns on the recent incidents of brawl involving secondary school students. Naivenguvengu says more emphasis needs to be placed on counseling services in schools.
We also need to have conflict resolution and mediation programs in schools. This can help empower our students to know how to resolve issues that they may be confronted with on a daily or weekly basis.
Permanent Secretary for Education Yowane Tiko has warned students to refrain from indulging into such acts as it will spoil their future.
Once the student is charged, then we will have to release him from school because of the criminal code and all the stuff that, all the regulations that go with it, and we will wait until the legal arm of government has completed all its processes, and then we'll take it from there.
School heads from schools in Suva already engaged in interagency program where potential issues affecting students are being discussed. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
A hotline has been set up to enable members of the public to call in if they have any questions or need any clarification of the 2017 census. The toll-free number 5151 was activated today and lines will be open daily from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. for the duration of the census. Maggie Boyle with more.
Busy counting the populace. Enumerators in the Suva-Nausori corridor are one of the busiest. Now, almost a week into the census count, a toll-free number has been set up to help the public.
We do have a toll-free number. It's 5151 for both Vodafone and Digicel users. The number is really there to for the public to use if they have questions or queries that they'd like to have answered. They could call in between 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Every day.
Despite a few challenges, progress with the census has been better than anticipated.
The numbers that have been coming in has exceeded our expectations, probably because we're using tablets and we are now correcting things in real time. So far so good.
Meanwhile, 10 UN officials from 8 different agencies accompanied some of the enumerators out in the field today. Team leader and Director Pacific for the UN Population Fund, Bruce Campbell, says their role was merely to learn and understand the census process and appreciate the validity of the exercise. A week into the count for Census 2017, and a number of households have completed their questionnaires, more than the initial forecast, thanks to working with the tablet. Now, with 2 weeks left of the count to go, the Bureau of Statistics is urging the public to ensure that they're counted because they matter. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum told several hundred people gathered at Albert Park this morning that it's time to address climate change as a national issue. Kicking off National Climate Week, he said our future will be at risk if we don't take decisive action. Sainiani Mboila reports.
All denominations have been asked to observe a weekend of prayer and rally behind Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama, who will assume the COP23 presidency in November.
This is our opportunity to seek spiritual guidance, comfort and conviction as we seek global climate action. Because given the importance of the responsibility the world has entrusted to Fiji, we cannot afford to fall short.
Said Qayyum says the Prime Minister needs everyone's support to jolt the industrialized world into action in an effort to fight climate change.
He is bringing bold and consequential leadership to address this challenge and reduce the harmful emissions that are causing climate change. But he cannot do it alone. He needs our help, he needs our support, and he needs our prayers.
Very informative and very educational, especially to the children of Fiji.
I think it's wonderful to see all the participation by young people, by students, by teachers.
Students, teachers, civil servants and members of the public were today part of the National Climate Change Week, which was launched here at the Albert Park in Suva. Similar launch will be done in the Western Division tomorrow. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The National Council of Women Fiji will equip all women who wish to contest the next general elections. Council General Secretary Faye Volotambu says this is part of their aim to increase the representation of women in Parliament. Sainiani Mboila again with this report.
The Council of Women is working on increasing women representation in Parliament after the 2018 general elections.
We will do trainings with different political parties, and we will be doing training with different groups who are interested for women going into Parliament. So whether you're in Sodal Power Fiji First, all that, it doesn't really matter. For us, our mandate is as long as you're a woman, whatever color you are, if you qualify as a woman, we are there behind you.
Volotambu says it's about time women take up more parliamentary seats and other leadership roles.
To the women who will be standing, if they do stand, we will be supporting them with briefs on temporary special measures and how to go about this.
Council's work that has been very important to us, supporting the women who want to be members of Parliament or who want to be leaders in the nation. And this is something that the Council has emphasized.
The Council today launched its Women's Role in Leadership in Fiji's campaign, which will run for 3 years. The campaign theme song is Namaramango. The campaign will also include visiting women in the grassroots level, raising awareness and conducting training sessions. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Still to come, former Education Minister has a case to answer. And safe drinking water for Nangumu villagers in Senganga. Stay with us.
Moala rarara ranalika, o tikongona tauna Singapore, ando talisaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na sere.
Ya dora subuli kurnambili, iborani batsukara hambara binaranga, do talitakinan na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na sere. Bula!
Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Chief Magistrate Usai Ratovili has ruled there is a case to answer in former Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy's trial. Dr. Reddy is charged by the Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption with one count of bribery and another count of undue influence. A no case to answer application was made by Dr. Reddy's lawyers 2 weeks ago, claiming there is not enough evidence against the former minister. However, the Chief Magistrate made a ruling this afternoon saying there was enough evidence against Dr. Reddy from the 5 prosecution witnesses. Defence will now present their case and bring in their witnesses. The case has been adjourned to September 26th. A Pacific call to action on early childhood development has been put forward that sets the pace for accelerating action on early childhood development throughout our region. This was a recommendation by 15 Pacific Island nations at the 2017 Pacific Early Childhood Development Conference in Nadi. Rapate Valeme reports.
Speaking at the closing ceremony, Acting Prime Minister Ayah Said Kayum said the call to action is a recognition early childhood care and education are critical.
As is so often the benefit of our regional engagement, these recommendations are tailored to the realities we all face as Pacific Island countries, the realities unique to the part of the world we all call home.
Said Kayum says the government represented at the conference should implement and recommendations arises from this conference.
We can say that this government, of course, we ourselves will take this recommendation seriously, because we know that the care and education and development of our children, the youngest Fijians, will have a profound impact on the future direction and success of our country at a macro level. We know that just as you must build a strong home on a solid foundation, so must we build strong citizens.
UNICEF Deputy Regional Director Vivina Bolmonte says the SDG agenda is an exclusive commitment of leaving no one behind.
The SDGs recognize that early childhood development can help drive the transformation we hope to achieve over the next 15 years.
The 3 days conference ended yesterday. Rapate Valeme, FBC News.
A huge crowd of family and friends gathered to see the graduation of over 1,100 students from the University of the South Pacific at Vodafone Arena in Suva today. Riklesh Singh was there.
After years of study and effort, students achieved their goal today and picked up their degrees before moving on to face the world of employment.
This has been one of my major dreams. It has been a dream, and that is come in fulfillment today, and I'm so thankful to God for that.
Alisi Kaloniviti studied early childhood education and says this wasn't easy, considering the children she already has.
I really struggled in many ways. I am a mother of 6, and I run my own preschool in my community, and at the same time I've been studying.
Muhammad Imroz Khan is now the headmaster of a school. He has been taking university courses since 2002 and now has received his master's degree in education. He feels people should continue to learn until they achieve their goals.
My family were all back in Lambasa. I was studying alone here, leaving everybody on the other side and then coming up to complete my studies. It's really difficult to stay away from them. I would like to encourage everyone that studying will never end, and we should keep turning all the stones till we achieve what we have dreamed for.
There were just under 1,200 graduates here today, and for all of them it has been years of study and struggle to move ahead in their lives. Most will now go on to seek employment, but in many cases they will eventually return to further their education even more. Riklesh Singh, FBC News.
There is now some relief for villagers of Nangumu in Senganga over their struggle to get clean and safe drinking water. This week, 4 new rainwater harvesting tanks were donated to the village. Eleanor Trangaiviu has the details.
This is the kind of struggle women in the village of Nangumu are accustomed to. Drawing water from wells and collecting rainwater for washing and cooking meals for their families.
We depend on the water from the wells for our everyday living. We use it for cooking, washing and bathing. But we get our drinking water from the village tank that is only open to us twice a week.
However, during the dry season, the yield of water is normally insufficient, and it becomes difficult for the village to store enough water.
When there is no rain, water is delivered to us by the WEF from Senganga. It comes only on Mondays and fills our reserve tank. Otherwise, we use the water from the spring or the well.
Rotary Pacific Water, through funds from the Japanese government, constructed new slabs and installed 4 new 5,000-litre water tanks for rainwater harvesting for the village.
This is such a big relief for us. We will no longer need to store water like before. We can come and fetch water from the tanks every day to use in our homes.
For these women, getting water on their taps right in their homes is a dream. However, this dream may soon become a reality as a new water source has been identified close to the village and could be the permanent solution to their water problems. Eleanor Turangayu, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, women's volleyball makes a poor start in the World Qualifiers, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Total celebrates Day of Service. And in growing Fiji, affordable homes for everyone, says Housing Authority. Stay with us.
I'm another sort of of whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the
Welcome back. Leading business tonight. Around 80 staff of Total Fiji Limited took time off today to work as buzzer attendants at their service stations around the country. This service day was part of Total's Customer Week. Managing Director Martin McCarthy says this is done to ensure their employees understand the work carried out by the buzzer attendants. There are more than 30 Total service stations in the country. And we now join Savanatha from HFC Bank with the latest from the currency markets.
Vinaka. Let's look at our basket of currency performance over a 5-day moving average against our Fijian dollar. When compared to last week, the US dollar has strengthened by 3 points, the Kiwi dollar has strengthened by 51 points, and the Aussie dollar has weakened by 20 points. Great news for those selling their US and Kiwi dollars this week, but not so great for those buying these two currencies. This morning, the United States released their continuing jobless claims for the month of July, which increased from 1.94 million to 1.98 million. However, it was overshadowed by their initial jobless claims figures, which reduced from 282,000 to 259,000, when it was expected to increase to 300,000. The US dollar opened 26 basis points stronger today. That's the market wrap for me, Vinaka.
Thanks, Savanatha. On to today's exchange rates and foreign currencies in the Fijian dollar. The Fijian dollar fell against Chinese yuan and the US dollar to close at 3.19 and 48 cents respectively. Both the Australian and New Zealand dollars rose to close at 60 and 65 cents, and the PNG kina was down to close at 136. As for the commodities market, it was a mixed day as oil prices rose to close at $50.70 a barrel. Gold was down to close at $1,292 per ounce, and silver fell slightly to close at $17.1 per ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the Housing Authority of Fiji wants to change the perception associated with low-cost housing. In an interview with FBC News, Housing Authority Board Director Nesbitt Hazelman said many Fijians think that affordable housing determines one's economic standing. Here's the full report. The Housing Authority is working on developing homes that will be suitable for all citizens of this country.
Affordable housing, that means you're at the bottom ring of the sort of financial or economic status. We're trying to integrate that with those who say live in the middle class or the upper class, so people can aspire to better living in the future.
Hazelman further explained they want to inspire Fijians to become home owners and have access to better accommodation.
It's a new phenomenon for Fiji, but I think with the way the government is going in terms of trying to bring all Fijians together and remove the race and bring them together. Housing is just a step in or a cog in the wheel to allow all these things to take place.
Housing Minister Parveen Kumar says due to the high cost associated with construction of homes, the authority will now provide affordable homes.
In particular, the very poor people. Sometimes they go to architects, that's an additional cost. They go to engineers. So all will be now paid by Housing Authority. You will have a plan, a standard plan. You just go to Housing Authority, you can get one plan and then build.
The authority will now provide affordable housing packages, which includes the land designing of the house and construction. Rachel Nath, FBC News. And that's a wrap for Business This Week. Now to the latest in sports. Here's Jamie.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead, Fiji and Drua ready to face defending champions. And fans to be treated with a reunion of former Fiji rugby greats. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकु रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम is #1. It's so hot.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम is hot.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से. मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम is hot. I love मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम, it's hot.
The Fiji Airways Ndrua hopes its mistakes from previous games won't be repeated against the Perth Spirit in the National Rugby Championship. The John Stewart captain side will face its hardest test yet in the competition when they host the defending champions tomorrow. Rohit Deo with the story.
The Fiji and Ndrua side knows they need to cut out their mistakes if they are to beat the defending champions tomorrow.
We just want to focus on doing our basics right, and that is our set piece. Line out and scrums, and the most important thing is maintaining our discipline, which we've been really working hard this week.
The 2 wins in the last 2 rounds have been forgotten, and the team is aware of the tough road that lies ahead.
We won rest on that result last week, as we all know, facing the defending champions, and playing with 13 players can really change the game. So we're really working on that.
The message from the coaching panel has been simple.
Just play smart rugby, and this is a big test for us, and it's good. It's good we're playing against Super Rugby players, and some of the Wallabies will be marching into camp with the Perth. It will lift it our game.
The match kicks off at 5 p.m. at Suva's ANZ Stadium tomorrow. In the curtain raiser, Fiji Legends take on the Classic Wallabies at 4:15 p.m. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, NRC table leader Perth Spirit will hope to continue its winning streak in round 4 of competition. In addition to preparing for its first overseas NRC match, they've also taken every advantage to enjoy the atmosphere while in Fiji.
The Drua, on the other hand, wants to grab maximum points and peep their opponents off the first place on the points table.
A big clash for the NRC, for the Drua, and we want to go there with a win.
The Drua takes on Perth Spirit at 5 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
A number of former Fiji Sevens stars will regroup tomorrow as the Fiji Legends and will face the Classic Wallabies as a curtain raiser to the NRC match at ANZ Stadium. Sevens wizard Waisilesi Revi says it will also be a timely gathering for those who won the 2005 World Cup in Hong Kong. Vashnil Prasad reports.
With the likes of Lepani Nambuliwanga, Naomi Nanuku and former captain Roali Veretido Vivarata in the team, fans can expect a firepower game.
Well, there'll be a lot of fireworks. Won't be much air in the legs to carry the guys through, but be a lot of tricks on the field. So you will still see a lot of offloads.
The Fiji Legends and Classic Wallabies game will surely take us back to those days when Fiji was on top of the world in Sevens rugby. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Former Fiji Sevens manager and rugby mentor Epeli Langiloa has passed away. The 69-year-old succumbed to a long-fought illness on Wednesday at the CWM hospital in Suva. The former Fiji National University lecturer mentored a number of Fiji rugby greats, including Pio Tuwai, Waisena Dungu, and Olympians Masive Sindakuanga and Tusotu Isoba. He is survived by 4 children and 12 grandchildren. His funeral arrangements are being finalized. The Fiji women's volleyball team has lost 2 consecutive matches so far in the Women's World Championship qualifiers in Japan. In its opening match, China rushed to a 3 straight sets win against Fiji. The side then lost to Australia also by 3 straight sets. Fiji plays Chinese Taipei in its 3rd match tonight. The Northern football side won the Kontiki Finance Police Inter-District Championship in Suva today. The side defeated Southern 2, 1-0 in the final. Lambasa rep Ratuana Reyes scored the lone goal early in the first spell. Earlier today in the semi-finals, Northern thumped pre-tournament favourites PSRU 4-0, while Southern 2 accounted for headquarters 2-0. The Pacific Islanders has stamped its mark as the team to beat at the intertertiary football competition underway in Suva. The East passed the pool stages and beat USP Lautoka 2-1 in the quarterfinals this afternoon. The semi-finals and final will be played at Bidesi Park tomorrow. Fiji tennis duo Conway Begg and Antonio O'Connell lost to Thailand in the men's doubles at the Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games this morning. Fiji lost by 2 straight sets, 6-2, 6-2 against an impressive Thailand pair. Meanwhile, in the women's doubles, Ruby Coffin and Vienna Kumar won by default over Kazakhstan. The Fiji Car Club expects a huge turnout at the Pacific Energy quarter-mile drag race this weekend. This is the club's 3rd competition of the year and is anticipated to be a tough one, with a few former competitors expected to make a comeback. Meanwhile, Lawrence Assam, who won the last event, will be trying his best to maintain his form.
After 40 years, Lawrence won the title, and he'll be coming up fighting to defend his title. And we'll have few newcomers as well, and the old folks who haven't turned up previously. I've just got confirmation that our old boys are coming up. They're coming to race this weekend.
That's it from sports. Catch weather later on with Angie. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, China has launched the world's fastest train. Catch that after the break.
Bula, Keron may singatoka, Keron do talita ka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola do talita ka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya ko silil tali, naguraramay na umani, nando nga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na honga ni BNN.
Thomas Rogers became the first person in Fiji to purchase the new Samsung Galaxy Note 8. After the launch of the newest smartphone into the local market last night, Rogers was the first customer at the Vodafone outlet in Suva this morning to buy the phone. Kelly Vavala reports.
Thomas Rogers and his wife Ashlyn had pre-ordered the new gadget, so they rushed to the Vodafone outlet to get their hands on Samsung's latest creation.
I do a lot of outdoor work in the sun, and this phone is by far the brightest. I bought 2, one for me, one for my wife. It was $22.99, which is quite a fantastic price actually. I've seen a lot of the features and I'm quite confident, I'm sure of most of them, but actually holding the phone in my hands for the first time today is something else. And Samsung has done their homework, made sure that this phone is absolutely safe for everybody.
However, Sarana Leleitani of Nakasi was the first Fijian to own the phone. As she won the texting competition, she was handed the phone at the launch last night. Vodafone Chief Marketing Officer Rajneesh Prasad says their aim is to provide their customers with the latest gadgets.
It has a lot of new features and improved features. It has got a bigger screen as identified, and also it has got one unique feature of this phone. It has got 2 cameras in the back and 1 camera in the front.
Vodafone Fiji says they're looking to expand their 4G Plus network to ensure customers get the best services and also introduce new devices from other manufacturers.
Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello to you and to another weekend. Wow, time really flies. Coming to today, most of you might agree the weather was at its best. So lively and beautiful. Sunshine surely loves Fridays too. Looking in the west, after a cold start, sun was out beaming throughout today and mugginess was a plus. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, mostly dry and bright. Great time to hang out under sunshine. And up north, much warmer this time. Very fine weather indeed. The sun and sea sounds like a great idea. At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots with rough seas. And for the tides, high tide tonight will be at 8:09 with a low tide tomorrow morning at 3:06. See the beauty of sunrise at 5:55. For tomorrow, it's going to be a perfect sunny day. You will wake up to a gorgeous sunlit day. Tomorrow's temps, much of the heat will be in the Western Division. And looking further on to Sunday, there will be a change in the weather scenario due to a weak trough that will bring rain clouds, rain and possible thunderstorms. And that's our FBC weather for tonight. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji on Pulse today, we asked, can the Fiji Airways draw beat defending champions Perth Spirit tomorrow?
I'm betting for Fiji draw and Fiji draw will win.
They can also win this one because they won the last match and I am sure they have learned a lot of lessons from their first loss.
Fiji team and Dua will always win if they work together hand in hand.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, China launched the world's fastest train on the Beijing to Shanghai line yesterday. It cuts the travel time between the two cities from 5 to 4.5 hours. Recapping the main stories, cameras to monitor fishing practices. Principal says students must learn not to choose violence, and Rugby Sevens mentor passes away. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, do you agree with the name and shame policy for tax evaders? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was taken during the Fiji Airways Drua team's training session at Bidesi Park by the FBC sports team. The team is preparing for the all-important clash against Perth Spirit that will be played tomorrow. Be sure to send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply #FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a pleasant evening and a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti ko minasong buti ko lang, ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tali, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali tajiri ang gitu Venezuela, nagundurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.